Welcome back. This is the second video, I guess. There was a short about this. This is my broken Maverick ION RX. I've driven it for 3 minutes before I noticed a nasty noise, which was a broken drive shaft. It's not covered under warranty because I don't live near the shop, so I have sprung for the cost myself and paid for this express post. This is a new drive shaft. I bought the aluminium one because the aluminium one, part number, let me just see, I think it's 120695, but I can tell you that on the exploded diagram here. It is part number MV28021 for the plastic version anyway. But anyway, all that aside, there's no guide on how to take this apart. I do have this diagram you can download, but it doesn't really give you a lot of help. It does show a couple of things that are all sort of connected. What I'm going to try and do, somebody on YouTube has done a time lapse of this, but they've not actually done it in real time. They said it took them about 25 minutes. It's about half an hour before tea time, so I'm going to see if I can record this getting done. See if I can record this job. I'm going to try to not let this thing impact my opinion on Maverick. Right now, I wouldn't recommend it if you live in a country area. I'd say buy something else. But let's see. I can't really review this until I have it fixed enough to drive. So without further ado, I think I've got a bunch of different RC tools here. So let's just jump right in. Remove the clips. It's a very nice body, and I've got, well, I can't help it. I'm a sucker for a rally car. Alright, here we go. Now, it looks like on this diagram that everything up here, this big brace at the top, is all one piece, so a lot of this is just going to come off. Let's see. I can take that out. I need that, and I can take that off. So that's one lot of stuff. I'll try and put things there. I think these are probably going to be too small. Are they? Yeah, I think so. They are way too tiny, so skip that idea. Move that out of the way. Okay. Just see how many holes are in this and which things have to go back with which things. So that's obviously going to come out. They look like they're part of it. Those upper arms might have to come off. They just push off. No, that one did. If that's all part of it, yeah, that's all part of it. Is that brace part of it as well? It looks like it. So they'll have to come off. And these will have to come out. I'm guessing it's just most of the work is probably going to go to exposing the drive shaft. So fingers crossed. Shocks might need to come off. And they've got to come off, I'd say. And probably those four there. And looks like that's all part of it too. Looks like that's screwed into that, so that one might be okay. So I'm just looking around at which screws need to come out. Maybe this one for the motor cover. No, it looks like the motor cover is separate, I think. I have to see. It looks like the shock towers will have to come off. Have a look and see how they're held on. It looks like they're screwed in. So, not feeling anything loosening up yet, so that's a worrying sign of how much. Nope, that's not part of that, so that's okay. They don't have to come out. It's a good thing. So that steering assembly is okay. Looks like that's all part. So that's all got to come out. So the shocks have got to come off. Oh, that ball joint has come out because I took out the little arm. Took out the arm which went in over there. That's probably going to have to come off. Any other screws that I can see? I'm getting my head in the way. Scream out in the comments if you can find any screws that I've missed. It looks like these arms are going to have to come off. There we go. 1, 2. So they're probably going to sit out like that. And then probably these come out. Let me just see if I've got a teeny weeny Allen key. Is that teeny weeny enough? Yep, there we go. Okay, so the Allen key, there we go, for the ball joint there. Probably would have been better to take off the other ones are the same. They've probably got the same. Yeah, they are. Okay. So lesson learned. Well, probably easier to leave those in. These are metal ones, so. I might undo the other ones. Alright, there we go. Now I might need something. Oh gosh. That's not a good start, is it? Let me just. Something to prop this up on. There we go. Okay, so there's no screws in there. Tell me it's not got screws through the bottom that I probably should have undone first. No, yes, they are. I'd say it's these two at the bottom that have to come out first. They're going to be really long, and they really needed to come out before anything else. Now, the other thing is I hope that they're all the same size, because that would be really handy. No, they're nice and long, so I'm going to be able to tell. There's a drive shaft. I think my hands are going to be sore at the end of this. So, future reference, take the screws out from the underside first. Then you can take out all the ones from the top. Okay. Oh, there's the other drive shaft. They're the same, so that won't matter. Are they? Those screws are going up into there, so they've got to come out next. Doesn't look like there's anything else underneath that needs to come out. So it's kind of going to be, if you went to high school in the 80s and you dissected a frog, think of that. That's what it's going to be like. If you've never been to high school in the 80s, don't worry. It definitely reminds me of dissecting something in high school science. You're probably going to have to open this thing up. I think I did very much the same on a UDI or a pine cone SG1604 when changing the diffs. It's really a everything out job, but these cars are so compact. It's just the way it works. Right, here we go. So that's those four out. Now we should have, yeah, there's some movement here. Okay. So now we need to spin this around. I need to undo the shocks. These little ones are really kind of starting to hurt my hands. So a bigger handled screwdriver is advisable. There we go. And then popping off the drive shafts here. Can I sort of get to it like that? So at least then I'll know these are the front links. There we go, 1 and 2. Okay. And then hopefully that will be enough to get everything out. My concern, because of where it's broken, I do have concerns about how this is all going to play out. So, is it starting to look like it's going to come out? Looks like there might be some screws in the top here that aren't quite free enough. If these are all really, really long ones. Is that a really, really long one as well, do I reckon? No, it's quite a short one. This is a really long one. A long one. A long one. And I think that one by the motor cover is probably holding it down. I think we might have some movement once this one's freed, but good thing so far that all of them, apart from this one with the washer, have been the same length. So that's good. You're going to have to be aware of the switch is still attached, so I'm going to have to probably spin it around. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now we have some movement, some motion. Okay. And of course it's broken. Oh, gee. There's the crown wheel off of it. I probably could have tried to leave that behind. Alright, take the drive shafts out because they're getting in the way. I don't know if this will ever go back together. I hope it will, but who knows. So that's got to go in there. It's I'm just trying to see. There we go. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so there's the broken drive shaft there. Crown wheel's come off. Now I've got to try and get the screw out of that crown wheel, but there is a section of the drive shaft there to hang on to, so that's okay. And then I guess this section has to, well, what I might do, I'm in two minds as to which order to try and do this in. There's a lot of grease on it too. It's really tight. No, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this off, which is going to be a pain because the model shop said, no, this is everything you will need. There's some really small screws, so I'm guessing there's also going to be a screw in this end. And can I actually get it out? Okay, so there's a screw in that end, so I'm guessing I get the two screws and one for is my screwdriver too big? Maybe. It seems to be working a bit better. So one is just going to have a push on. So I think this is the end that's going to have the that goes on. There's probably something that holds that. Okay, so that's the longer end, the T. So that's going to go on this end, which has to go back in here. Take my screws there. So this is the end of the pin. Okay, so this one goes in here like this, like that, and then that one goes on there, and screw does up there. So, sorry, I'm not really showing that very well. Let me just back up a step. So there's that end. So this section, there's a pair of pins. I don't know if you can really see them. Sorry, pins there. So this has got a cross in it. Push it down into the pins, and then there's a flat on there, and obviously this goes onto the flat. Pushing it on as far as you can. Then there's a screw into the top. So we'll get a screw from the new bag. I won't try and reuse them. I should probably be looking at the crown wheels to see if they're any good, but to be fair, I don't have any spares if they're not, so they kind of have to be, don't they? They're either going to work or they're not. I can't do anything about it if they don't. Okay, so that one's on, that assembly's ready. Now I need to use this screwdriver and see if I can get this screw out. Oh, I need a rag. Pause while I get a rag. Oh no, hold on, here's a rag. Don't pause, I've got a rag. Here we go. Try not to drop everything. Okay. I'm also trying to resist the urge to talk about the shop, who are providing these parts with very little. Oh, see, I've broken the head off the screw. They're providing these parts with zero warranty assistance. So let me see if I can press this out. There we go. Okay, that's gone. So that's why they give you new screws, because I actually have broken the head off that screw. There it is. Fortunately, I've broken it off in the end of that broken piece of drive shaft, so I'm not worried. Maybe that's why the drive shaft broke. Maybe the screw was in cross-threaded or something, I don't know. Could that account for it? Who knows. Alright, so then there's a flat. There's a flat on this end. You can kind of see it there. So this has to go over that flat. This is for the end that goes up there. Then we get a new screw. New screw, not the old one. Put it on there. And with our number 2 Phillips, tighten that up as well. I'm going to try and hold it while I tighten it, so I can get as much grip as I can. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Alright, so that goes in there. That bit's going to go in there. I'm going to try and get this end in first. Like that. Then I'm going to try and maneuver this so I can drop this in here, and hopefully that all still wants to go where it should. Let me move this so you can. I'm kind of showing what I'm trying to do here. So that's got to go down, and then that's got to engage in there. There we go. That's it. That's all doing what it should. There's quite a lot of grease on there. I don't think I'm going to worry about adding more grease. This steering linkage is going to be a bit of a nightmare to try and line up, so I'll do my best to not disturb that first. Then I'll put the drive shafts, once I get the top deck back on, drive shafts in, bottom screws in last, and I think we'll be okay. This wad of cables is going to be a problem, and that front differential has to mesh, which is also going to be a problem. So let's address that problem next. Oh, okay. I think we might be close. Right. No, what I should have done is before I put that on, I should have gone, right, now let's get the front differential in. Moves that out of the way. Okay, front diff. And now the rear one's out again. It's just a lot of fun. Is that right? No, that's not right. It's just not going as it should. Okay. That is not sitting right, is it? Okay. That's right. Is this one sitting down? It is almost as if this is actually not on there far enough. It's kind of like this drive shaft is too long, which is, you know, it's a bit crazy to think that, but it doesn't fit. This drive shaft still needs to go that way a bit. Oh. This is why I was worried about this. Okay, so there we go. That's sitting back. Right, that might work now. Let me see if this helps to mesh everything. So let me get this end in first. I did manage to push that back on. Come on. Right, that one in. That one in. That is in. That's in. No. Okay. Still not right. I'm just concerned that I'm going to lose this pin. Okay, let's have a look at this. Did I get any more? Turns on it? Can I get any more turns on this one? Oh, maybe I could. I don't know, maybe that might have compressed a little bit more. And that would effectively shorten this shaft, which should. I think that might be it. There's a pin there. That pin needs to go through that hole before this can go on. Okay, I think that's it. So if you're doing this, make sure you are tightening up onto that shaft really well. That is very important. Oh, now where's that cover? Where did that little cover fly off? There it is. Does that have to go under anything? Goes under there, and then that goes on. Oh. Just want to get everything started, so nothing else wants to fall out, and just to see if I've got everything lined up the way I should. Oh, that's not a good idea. will probably put the bottom ones into the bottom deck as the last step. So while this is all going on, I'll just quickly pause. Well, I won't pause, but I'm going to stop where I'm up to and just have a look at the alignment of the casing, which looks pretty good. Casing looks like it's doing what it should. So before everything else gets sort of buttoned up, I want to reattach these ball joints on the back. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have first. I'm actually going to undo that one with a screwdriver in a second. What I am going to do is put the dog bone back in, and then that one back in there, and then reattach that one. Then I'm going to undo this one because I don't want to keep popping them off. They're only plastic, and I think if I kept doing that, eventually my luck would run out and I'd need to order more parts. And one thing I don't want to do is I really don't want to order any more parts from the place that I bought this car. I was hoping it would be a really... I promised I wasn't going to bag them, so I won't. I'm going to try really hard to not bag them. I'm just going to say that I'm going to do my best to avoid ordering any more parts for the car, because it helps keep the cost of the car down. And the car was quite cheap, but the car does not become very cheap when you have to keep buying parts for it. So there's my rationale for not wanting to buy any more parts. Also bear in mind, because they're plastic, don't over tighten them. Okay, now these are going up there, I believe. I can't look back at the footage yet because I'm still recording it, so I'm pretty sure they're for up the top. But I saw this little thing. I know this rally car is absolutely out of date. It's apparently they're about 10 years old, but I saw it and I just thought, what a cool looking little rally car. So I bought it. I could have cannibalized my son's birthday present to fix this, because it has an identical drive shaft, but what kind of parent would I be if that's what I decided to do? Oh, my thing's broken, I'm just gonna take parts from my kid's thing to fix. Like, that's horrible, isn't it? Isn't that horrible? Quite certain it is. Oh, that one's still got a... Duh. That one's already got a drive shaft in it. There we go, one. Can I get it? Yes, I can. That's going to go that side, I think. Does that go that side? Hold on. Yes, it does. I had to feed in through the side there because it goes in there. Actually attaches into this little bit here. I was thinking it's up here. There it is. And then I'll go through and hopefully everything works. And put the shock back on this side as well. There we go. It comes with oil shocks. Okay, it's only a nickel metal hydride. Sorry, and a combined receiver ESC, but that's okay. You know, you think for a beginner's car, that's pretty good. I wouldn't be upset with that. Can I just turn that? And there we go. Turn the opposite wheel and turn the wheel and it'll drop in. And I'll just get I have to feed it through the hole in the bumper to get it in. There it goes. But I was meant to be racing this tonight. Not going to happen. I'm at 30 minutes, by the way. Time check with my actual time. Edited time might be less, but 30 minutes with my explanations and tomfoolery. It would have been a lot quicker had I thought about the length of the drive shaft when I was trying to get it to line up. So yeah, I think definitely doable in half an hour if you've got the tools, for sure. Alright, that is the chassis back together. Steering mechanism looks like it's still working. I've got a bit of tightening up to do, so let's quickly get these all tightened down, and then I'll flip it over to do the other side. And then I'll try and, I've got a battery here, I'll plug a battery in and fire it up and see if we're back to having four-wheel drive, and see if our nasty chattering noises are gone, which would be very good. The background noise is the 3D printer. I was just checking my email today to see if Bamboo Labs or Prusa were offering to send me a printer, but they aren't, so that's okay. I'm alright, guys. I've got my own 3D printer. If you want to send me one though, I wouldn't be upset. Or a laser cutter. X Tools, I'm looking at you. Pointing at you. Right. Let's just check the steering. I didn't undo anything in the steering mechanism. I don't think I did, but you never know. Just in case. Right. They're done. That's done. That one's done. Okay. Still got steering. Got drive when opposite wheel turns. Yep. Lovely. Alright. So flip it over. These four in. And I'll then start to frantically look around for some double A's. I think I can see some on the bench. Alright. Wrong one. That one. I think these are PH1. I think this is a number 1 Phillips. Does it say on there? No, it doesn't say. I think it's a number 1. I'm trying to find some ratcheting bits for JIS screws, which are proving very hard to find, particularly in regional Australia. So, Amazon to the rescue. These aren't too bad because they've got that end that stays, that end that spins on them, so that you can sort of ratchet with them. It's not really a ratcheting mechanism, is it? Okay. Right, there we go. Let's well, gee, that box is an unfortunate size. I'm going to hit the throttle and it's go flying off there. Have we got anything smaller? That's even worse. That's made it worse. There we go. Batteries. Pause while I find batteries. Alright, camera angles changed a little bit. To save myself from any accusations of wrongdoing, I put the original Maverick battery back in. There's some battery power on the transmitter. There's definitely steering and four-wheel drive. So happy days. Yep, all four wheels working. So yeah, about a 30-minute job. I'm going to guess that by the screw breaking off inside the end of the drive shaft, that's probably one of the reasons that the thing broke. Either being tightened up too much or whatever. But yeah, that'll conclude it. So if you've got one of these little Maverick ION RX and you need to change the drive shaft, the plastic part is part number MV28030. The aluminium part number is it's 28092. 28092. Written there, 28092. The aluminium one is cheaper than the plastic one by about $2 in Australia. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world. Now I can actually go and drive it and hopefully at some point get back to you and tell you what it's like. So if you like this video, got some help from it, please give me a thumbs up and consider leaving a comment, or subscribing would be nice too. Love to get to that 1,000 by the end of the year. Thanks very much everyone. Bye.